Now, I know this video is just just a little touch bit late, but I'm gonna go back to Thailand, the island of Koh Samet. It's an island more in it's not really in the south of Thailand, but it's kind of in the central part. It's this tiny little island. We actually took mopeds around and we just drove around the island. We got to go see a bunch of beaches, and ate some good food and stuff like that. Towards the end, our last day, Steve and Fern and Sal came and hung out with us.
Show us.
We hung out on the beach and ate dinner and spent some fun time with them. We played pool with a nice Thai lady who was there at a cool bar that had great drinks. Then we went back to Bangkok and went into an airplane for 8 hours to Japan.
In the unlikely event, this is a very suspect phrase, especially coming as it does from an industry that is willing to lie about arrival and departure times. In the unlikely event of a sudden change in cabin pressure, roof flies off. The safety lecture continues. In the unlikely event of a water landing. Well, what exactly is a water landing? Am I mistaken, or does this sound somewhat similar to crashing into the ocean?
In Japan, we basically blindly wandered around for the first night. We were really, really tired. None of us had slept in like 20 hours. We had ridden, the plane. It was bad. We blindly wandered around the city of Tokyo, looking for sushi and sticking our head into a restaurant and going, sushi? And asking people, sushi? Because none of us knew how to speak any Japanese. Eventually, we did find a place that did have sushi, so we ate there. Then the next day, we went out and we did stuff in Tokyo. I don't remember what anymore. But yeah, we did just a ton of stuff in Tokyo. We went to a major anime center, and we went to a cat cafe, and then we started hanging out with our friends, Sako and Greg. They took us to this cool, museum, basically, and it showed a bunch of different old kind of houses, like, commoner house, and then someone who had decent income, and then like a rich person house from way back.
Greg, you are the one who said we don't have It is true.
Really it looks cool. Like living. It's like something living. Whoa! Look at that. It's alive.
Good. Can you put my phone in your pocket? Very cool. Feeling tired. Heavy.
We did a good job of annoying the people who worked there by staying past when it was open, and they had to come kick us out, which was pretty great. After that, we went to a grocery store, and we got some sushi, and we hand-rolled sushi, and that's what we had for dinner, and we chatted all night. It was really cool. Next day, we went to this cool rock face that had a nice view of the ocean, which I don't have a picture of. Then we went to this shrine that had a bunch of old, self-mummified Buddhist monks. If you want to learn about that, you can look it up, because it's really, really interesting, and I find it really, really cool, the process of self-mummification, which is slightly horrifying, but it's also pretty cool. Then we went to a different shrine that was not a mummy shrine, but it was very pretty, though. It had these cool forests around it, and it was very pretty. There was this woman doing a ceremony inside of the shrine that we got to, stalkily watch her, and there were all these Howards. They had deer at this shrine. They had so many not Howards. They were all not Howards, sadly. The next day we went hiking in this really pretty forest area. The trees were super tall, and it was all really cool. There were a couple little shrines that we saw on our way that were like really mini shrines. And there was a couple of little waterfalls that we saw and rivers. And after that, we headed on the train to go to an cool restaurant. And the day after that, we went to this onsen place, which onsen means hot spring, in case you don't know. We got to wear these Japanese yukatas that were kind of weird and difficult to get on, but it was still pretty cool. It was a pretty cool area because everywhere around there were a ton of hot spring hotels. After that, we did more hiking and wandering around. We went to this cool outdoor art exhibit that had a bunch of different stuff everywhere, like different art things and a trampoline. And they had this tiny little, like, historical museum that we got to look at some cool stuff in. They have very in-depth instructions. Mom and Beth and I went hiking out in Akigahara Forest. It is a forest in the Mount Fuji area. It has quite a few different caves, a couple that you can go into. We went into two, Ice Cave and Wind Cave, and they were really fucking cold in those caves. The forest is really beautiful and really cool because these trees are growing over basically lava, what used to be lava, and so the roots kind of grow out above everything. For our last night, we went to this awesome, teeny tiny little restaurant. It was really good, great food, and it was run by one guy.